For today's movie review, I'll be reviewing Star Trek Beyond, the 13th film in the Star Trek franchise, and the third installment of the Reboot series. And this is the first of the Reboot films to not be directed by J.J. Abrams, since J.J. Abrams was busy working on Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And this film comes out just in time to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Star Trek franchise. So, is Star Trek Beyond a good film to celebrate said 50th anniversary? For the plot of Star Trek Beyond, the crew of the USS Enterprise gets stranded on this remote planet, and it's up to Kirk,
along with several other characters,
join forces with an alien prisoner in order to rescue the rest of the crew, along with stopping the alien commander from destroying all Starfleet. In terms of what I liked about the movie, I think out of the Reboot movies, this is the funniest of the installments. The interaction of the characters is always great. The acting's pretty good. The costuming is great. The special effects are great. I thought the movie was well paced till the end, but I'll get to that in a bit. And I think this movie is better than Star Trek Into Darkness. And the new characters of Jayla and Krall are a general highlight of the movie, along with their interaction off the crew of the USS Enterprise. And this has probably the most hilarious usage of Sabotage from the Beastie Boys, and I was never really bored throughout the whole movie, so it does entertain me. In terms of what I disliked about the movie, the cinematography from time to time wasn't the best in certain situations, and some of the transitional shots from one scene to another I think drag on a little bit too much. Also, the combination of the main villain and the climax reminded me a lot about Star Trek Into Darkness, because on one hand we do have a villain that's connected to Starfleet in some way, and he does seek to destroy Starfleet as a whole, and the climax itself is the crew of the Enterprise going against this huge force of some sort, and then after that it's literally the main character get into a fist fight with the main villain. That's literally what it is. Also, they don't really explain the villain's backstory all that well, and if they do, it goes by really fast. Like, they don't allow enough time to let it sink in. Also, the lighting from time to time isn't the best, because there are points in time where I could hardly make out what was going on, and some of the characters looked a bit too alike in certain cases, because at one point, Kirk asks one of the crewmates to hide a device, and for some reason I totally thought it was like one of the characters they picked up earlier in the movie. Then it turns out, it's two completely different characters. For some reason I thought it was the same character. For my final verdict of Star Trek Beyond, I think the movie is not only good and entertaining, but I also think that it's a good way to celebrate the franchise's 50th anniversary, along with being a good send-off for the actors who died before the movie was released in theaters. Even though there are some elements that reminded me of Star Trek Into Darkness, I do think it's better than that movie overall. But maybe not as good as the original 2009 movie. And before I look at my final rating, what did everyone else have to say about Star Trek Beyond? Looks like a lot of people really like this movie. And for my final rating of Star Trek Beyond, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. So, what is your favorite Star Trek film that isn't Star Trek II Wrath of Khan? And see you later.